Welcome to the Maple Grove City Report. I'm Dave Kaiser from CCX Media, along with Heidi Nelson, Maple Grove City Administrator. Welcome once again.
Thank you.
We have a meeting from September 20th to talk about. Went about an hour and a half. A number of items that took a little more time, so we'll explain. Also, a lot happening in the city. We'll give you that update in just a second. Let's begin with the meeting on the 20th. A few items pulled from consent. The first related to a donation to the Canine Fund. This was a very nice surprise, I understand.
Yeah, so this is a donation that we got notice of from the Johnson Trust, a $10,000 donation to our canine program, and we really don't know a lot of the connection or history of the Johnson Trust to the Maple Grove Police Department or our canine program, but we're grateful for that designation and this individual's trust, and we're getting thank you letters out to them, and so this money will help to support our canine program going forward.
Very nice. Proclamation that was pulled from consent too to highlight this. Light the Night for Fallen Firefighters. Tell us when this is and give us a little Maple Grove background on it as well.
Yeah, so September 26th through October 3rd, we'll be lighting up Town Green red in recognition of Light the Night for Fallen Firefighters. And as you might recall, Captain Mike Piter passed away roughly about a year ago from leukemia, and he was a captain at Station 5 and a treasured member of our fire department and served also for St. Paul Fire Department full-time. So this kind of is near and dear to our heart here for our own department, but also for those all across the country. So look for that lighting starting next week at the Town Green. And
residents as well encouraged to put on red lights if they'd like to as well. Next, presentations from the meeting. First was a oath of office for a new police sergeant who has some connections to the city as well.
Yeah, so Sergeant Steve Parker was sworn in. He's been in service doing his new role as sergeant for some time, but just got to the swearing in now. And so he's been with our department for 13 years, and prior to being with Maple Grove, he served with the city of Belmont, California. And kind of a nice tribute here, his dad is retired law enforcement and came in his former uniform and was able to pin his badge on as sergeant. So a really important night for the Parker family, and congratulations to Stephen on his new role.
Definitely. Next update was a little bit longer presentation, and you knew this was coming with a lot of information to pass along. This is from Maple Grove Hospital. So give us a little background of the build up to this presentation and what some of the highlights were.
Yeah, so with the approval of the Minnesota Health Village project, the land up behind the hospital, a big component of that, of course, is the hospital expansion, and then some land that the hospital has acquired for future expansion, over the next 10, 15, 20 years, that kind of a thing. So, we had sort of anticipated the hospital might be in this summer with plans to get going, maybe even late this fall. They've had just some delays in their decision-making process. So this is, with North Memorial Health as well as Fairview as a partner in this process. So they've got a lot of folks at the table in that decision-making and a lot of information to gather for that. So good update from Dr. Kevin Croston. Appreciate him coming in to kind of talk about not only kind of the level of service and the volume of service that's being provided at the Maple Grove Hospital. The number of babies that are being delivered up there is really, really remarkable. But it's in addition to that, it's their emergency room services and some of their surgical services that are really seeing growth. I think they do a great job. Operationally, that hospital is very comforting, and they provide excellent service. So I think it's a sought after location for healthcare. So if you're interested, there's a PowerPoint that's out on the agenda and minutes section of our website. It's got imagery of the new hospital, but again, all that background about kind of what services are provided here versus Robbinsdale, what the level of service, number of patients that they're serving, that kind of thing. So folks are interested, take a look at that. Good news is they do intend to come in over the winter months with their plans and get approvals from the city and hopefully get going in the spring. So nice to have this update and see this project moving forward. Again,
the website maplegrovemn.gov. We'll show you that again at the end of the meeting. But again, if you'd like to hop in and check out that presentation, you can do that there. Maple Grove Moments Photography Contest. We've talked about this through the process, encouraging people to take pictures. Well, they did take pictures, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Yeah, I think we had over, what was it, almost 350 entries were submitted by 168 residents. So that's a really great participation, and all really great photos again this year. And this PowerPoint with all the photos, the photo contest winners, is out there on the website too. Nice. So if you want to go take a look at that, just some great shots, and you'll see those in our upcoming publications for the city. So good opportunity for those folks that contributed to be recognized, and they get a little gift from the city for that. So we appreciate everybody's participation.
Yep, a lot of people in the audience and a lot of pictures taken of those people with the mayor, so very
Yes.
nice night. Next to public hearings, we had a couple easements, again, that we've been following through the process here.
Yeah.
Give us a review of this step.
Yeah, so this, the first one is an item that actually got tabled. So this was a vacation of an easement. If you recall, we had that lot subdivision out on
Right.
Weaver Lake Road, and there was some questions about lot lines and getting a survey done and those kinds of things. And so we had already published the notice. This was in motion, but we're going to take a pause and let those things flush themselves out. And so you'll see this
Okay.
vacation come back at a future date.
Okay, and the next was related to the Tom addition as well. Tell us about that, and that did move ahead.
Yeah, so this is that lot split out at Appaloosa Woods on the west side, going from 1 lot to 3 lots. So this was really about vacating the old easements on the lot and then creating new ones for the new lots that'll be created.
Community development, economic development items. We've been following the progress of REO Plastics as well, long-time Maple Grove business.
Yes.
What happened here at the meeting?
Yeah, so really remarkable. Ario Plastics has been there since 1968. They've been a great community member, I think a good neighbor up there, because they're kind of in and around some residential development, but they're also, off some pretty major corridors, County Road 30 and County Road 81
Right.
there. So this is for an addition to their building. A lot of attention here paid to kind of where that new access road will come in, the berming and the landscaping between what will be this expanded use and the existing residential neighborhood. So this one gained approval, and good to see this business expanding here in Maple Grove.
Next couple items related to the comprehensive plan, but there was a little bit of a holdup on this related to the Met Council. Give us a
Yeah.
little understanding of these two topics.
Yeah, so we've got one step to do here. These were in front of the Planning Commission a couple weeks ago. We need to do some work here in the interim with Met Council, and then they'll come back at a future council meeting. So comprehensive plan amendments for the Evanswood single-family home development, or residential home development, I should say, up in the northwest quadrant. So doing some kind of changes to the comp plan guidance up there and zoning
Okay.
for the lots that would be constructed up there, and then some changes in the gravel mining area. And some of this is driven from our housing study, and one of the changes was to kind of make some changes to our high density and medium density zoning to direct more of those apartment type uses into those high density zoned areas. So that'll be coming back at a future date.
Next item, update on community and economic development items. First is the Planning Commission meeting coming up on September 27th. What's on the agenda there?
Yes, we have coming up Mechatronic Solutions. This is another great story of a Maple Grove business. They're located in another building off of 73rd Avenue down there, just south of 694. They were looking to expand and really didn't have room in their existing building that they were leasing space, so they'll be moving out and building a new building, about a 40,000 square foot building there. It's a lot that the city actually owned that was preserved for potentially some future right-of-way, and both with MnDOT and the city's review, we determined that was no longer needed.
Okay.
So if you're traveling along 73rd Avenue there on the north side, there's currently an existing parking lot that's leased to one of the neighboring businesses, but that's where Mechatronics will be expanding. So they'll be in front of the Planning Commission on the 27th of September.
All right, we'll keep you updated as they walk through. And one other note, the second annual Arbor Committee Fall Tree Festival. A lot of fun happening coming up soon here. Give us a list of some of the activities going on.
Yeah, so this was something that the Arbor Committee kind of started during the pandemic, or continued pandemic, because we couldn't really have some of the indoor events that we usually have for the Arbor Committee. So the second annual Fall Tree Festival will go start September 25th through October 10th, and it's just kind of an on-your-own thing. There's a number of things that you can do out in the community. It includes a parade of trees up at the Arboretum, so you'll tour a selection of trees that are handpicked by the Arbor Committee and identifies their unique features and beauty up there. So the tree map is available on the city website, and then there'll also be printed maps in the parking lot there at
Great.
the Arboretum. We have a scavenger hunt for the kids that takes you through a number of locations throughout the city and is focused on trees, of course. And so that information is available on the city website if you want to get out and get engaged with that. We have a tree giveaway, so all festival participants are eligible to pick up a free bare root tree on October 9th at the Public Works facility from 9 to 11 a.m. We have about 70 young trees to distribute, so it's kind of a first come, first serve, and a variety variety of species for that as well.
Very nice.
And then we encourage everybody to get out to the forest preservation areas. Get off the beaten path. The one located along Vicksburg Lane has about has a trail there. It's about a half-mile south of Bass Lake Road if you're not familiar with that area. And it includes about 130 acres of mature forest with unpaved trails throughout for you to explore. And then there's a small parking lot there, has a parking sign. It's just a gravel lot there on the west side of the road to gain access.
Very good. Hats off to the Arbor Committee. A lot of fun coming up. And again, go to the city's website to find out more about that. Updates now from Engineering and Public Works. It's cleanup time in the city. We've got a couple events coming up. How can residents get rid of some of that stuff? Yeah,
so 2 opportunities. On October 4th, we do have a curbside pickup. You do need to make arrangements for that in advance with our Public Works staff. And then on October 9th, another Saturday event, we have drop-off at Public Works. So we really do encourage people to take a look around. You know, we do see things being set out at the curb from time to time with a free sign on it, and that's not allowed under our code. So we do encourage people to take advantage of these drop-offs and check out the website. There is some fee associated with getting rid of some of those things. However, I will say it's pretty modest compared to taking it to a private place. It's a pretty good deal and a great opportunity to get some cleanup done.
All right, October 4th and October 9th, go to the website to find out the specific details. October through December, a lot of work happening with the Emerald Ash Borer program. Give us a recap of what that program is and what residents can expect to see.
Yeah, so we established this program probably a little over a year or so ago and have been working in different neighborhoods of the community. So we're going to be getting after that again here into the fall and winter. We're focused on areas kind of north of 94, 694 for this upcoming winter, and it is going to be impactful in some areas. So there's areas where we have about 200 trees identified that would need to be removed. And in some of those areas, they're in locations where we would no longer plant a tree. Operationally, they become an issue, and so some of those that are located between the edge of the road and the sidewalk kind of a thing, we really don't do that anymore in terms of plantings just because of the plowing and roots and those things that can become disruptive in that small space. So, if people have questions about what's going on, give a call up to Public Works. We'd be happy to talk to you about it. We continue with the treatment program in certain areas where we feel like we might have good success, and we're working with the contractor on that. In addition, there's information on there about some tree companies that we've partnered with that will give a resident, kind of a resident rate, if you will, if they have concerns in their own neighborhood. So keep your eyes open for some of that EAB work here as we go into the fall.
Last update from engineering, it wouldn't be complete at this time of the year without an I-94 update. So how are we doing? A few more shifts to come?
Yeah, we're making some progress, I think. It's been, again, the weather's been very cooperative. There'll be a shift in the westbound on-ramp at 610 here coming up, kind of that week of September 22nd through the 29th. And then we'll be shifting over to the permanent lanes of traffic as of September 29th is the plan. So that, I think it's been called a number of things, but the chute that goes from Maple Grove all the way up to St. Michael, that'll go away. So everybody will be back on kind of those normal lanes of traffic. So we're looking forward to that. Yeah,
should make life a little bit easier.
Yes.
Next on the meeting from the 20th, a few administrative items. HR Director came up to talk first a little bit about COVID and some policies within the city.
Yeah,
Tell us about those.
Yeah, so we ended most of our COVID policies in July, kind of when, the state's emergency order came to a close, then that brought our emergency order to close. We had extended some of those policies beyond the federal mandates, but kind of brought those to a close at the beginning of July. We've been experiencing, some situations with breakthrough cases with folks that are vaccinated and having to deal with that. And we really didn't have a lot of tools to do with that. So what this policies does is it allows for the use of kind of a special bank of COVID leave for vaccinated employees, as well as some flexibility around remote working if we have a situation where somebody's getting tested or they've tested positive, and again focused on that vaccinated population. So appreciative of this kind of flexibility. I think one of our concerns is going into the winter, just what happens if we have a lot of breakthrough and our ability to continue to maintain to deliver services. So that one got approved, and then we did have an addendum to the city administrator's employment agreement. That's my agreement. So we had in the last year made an application to the state for, it's called the governor's salary cap waiver. It's a process that you can go through the state to to get a waiver for that salary cap. And I think one of the main issues was just, being comparable to our comparable suburbs. So the cities that we look to as our kind of comparable suburbs is, Plymouth and Eden Prairie, St. Louis Park, Bloomington, Woodbury, Egan, those kinds of cities, and looking at their salary structure. Lakeville, I should throw in there. One of the things is we are going to be doing a comp and class study in the upcoming year. We know we're behind the market in terms of our comp cities, and so this was kind of a step in that direction as well. So that one got approved, an amendment to my agreement to deal with that cap waiver that we received.
Last update from the administrative area was the House bonding tour coming up quickly here. What is that? Where are they visiting?
Yeah, so if you recall, a few weeks ago the Senate was out, the Senate Capital Investment Committee was out for a bonding tour stop, and so this is the House side, the House Capital Investment Tour. So Representative Bonner and Representative Robbins will be with us, as well as the members of the Capital Investment Committee. So we have about a half hour of their time, so we'll move quickly. But we're going to do just kind of a tour of some of the key areas of the community center that we either have issues. It's an aging building. Staff over there does a great job of making it look good, but underneath we've got some issues structurally and water, those kinds of things that we need to attend to in the coming years. So we'll take them through the building and show them that, and then it's just a great opportunity to connect with our representatives locally here, as well as those members of the Capital Investment Committee.
We'll update you on that. And one other note as we look ahead to October, sounds like you'll have some council meetings, but some work sessions as well for us to talk about. Yeah,
so we have a list of work session topics that have accumulated over the summer months. We always try to keep it a little lighter during the summer on people's schedules, but then we start to collect this list of things that need some council discussion and direction.
Final note on the meeting of the 20th was an EDA meeting very quickly, and something called the Facade Improvement Grant Program. Tell us what that is and who it's targeting toward.
Yeah, so this is a program that a number of cities have done where they can provide some assistance to businesses to kind of improve that exterior facade of their building. We're really focused on kind of some of our older retail areas. So the policy talks about structures that were built prior to 1990 is really what we're looking at, and we've had some interest from businesses wondering if there's any tools available from the city, and so I think this will be a nice piece to keep investing in those older retail areas.
Now to some other things that are happening in the city after the report there on the meeting from the 20th. The Concert on the Lawn, give us a recap of that fine event. Yeah,
so 2 nights of great music this past weekend over at Central Park. It was really a great weekend. I was there both nights. Friday night, a little lighter attendance. It was a cooler evening. It got pretty chilly as the evening went on, but I think still well received. And then Saturday night, I felt like the attendance was pretty similar to the last time this event was held back in 2019. Good. So I think, haven't heard numbers yet, but I think it went pretty well, with Soul Asylum being kind of the headliner there for that night. So kudos to the Maple Grove Lions Club, and a lot of help from volunteers and some of our Parks and Rec staff to help out make this event a success over at Central Park.
Yeah, congratulations. Great job to all those involved. Let's talk about watering drought conditions. Things have changed a little bit, at least it would appear that way, but you're still trying to get the message out there that not so fast, right?
Yeah, so the recent rain, and we were on the winning end this week of, you saw like the airport got nothing, barely anything, and we got, nearly 3 inches. So we were grateful for that. But, I think it's helped us out with lawns and those kinds of things, but, I think we're looking at, where those ponds are and that kind of thing, which affects kind of the water table and, recharging the aquifer, those kinds of things. So there's good reason to continue with these restrictions, just to be mindful and be good stewards of the water. We're not caught up yet. We're not out of this yet. Right. It would be lovely to have a few more days like Monday here before we head into the winter freeze season. So we're hoping for that in September and October, but just asking for folks' continued cooperation with those watering restrictions.
Yep, and information as well on the city's website. Coming up, Fire Prevention Week. Tell us when that is and what the key message is this year.
Yeah, so October 3rd through the 9th is Fire Prevention Week, and this year's theme is Learn the Sounds of Fire Safety, so really focusing on the sounds of smoke and carbon monoxide detectors in your home.
Another event coming up is Wednesday, October 7th. This is a special vigil going on. Give us a little background on what's going to happen at that event.
Yeah, so this second annual Maria's Voice Vigil, this one Wednesday, October 7th, to honor Domestic Violence Awareness Month. This organization was created by the family of Maria Pugh, who was murdered by her husband in April of 2020, a domestic violence situation. And so October 7th, the community is invited to gather from 6 to 7 p.m. This year the venue changes up to the Angel of Hope statue located at the Maple Grove Arboretum there off of Fernbrook Lane. The program will include candlelight vigil, speakers, music, candles will be provided. Attendees are asked to wear a mask, and then parking is available both by the Arboretum lot and then across the street, as well as the north lot there. So October 7th from 6 to 7 p.m. And we'll be doing a number of things throughout the month of October to increase awareness about domestic violence in our community. You know, we continue to hear these really difficult stories from across the country, and this is just an important issue that we make sure that folks can recognize the signs and get people help when they need it. So you'll see a lot of from us from social media, little CCX pieces, that kind of thing, as October rolls on.
Yep, and again, that event on October 7th. Well, you may see buses driving around town with this $1 sign on them. This sounds like good news. What's happening?
Yeah, so Metro Transit and all the suburban providers are providing $1 rides, including during the rush hour express time. I think they're really trying to encourage people to get back to transit.
Yeah.
You know, we were all expecting a little bigger return to offices downtown in September, and I don't think that's happening the way we had anticipated. So hopefully this can get some folks back to using the buses.
All right, let's hop ahead to a quick update on the farmers market. As the season goes on, the produce is changing a little bit, and also the hours will soon be changing a little bit. What's happening there?
Yeah, so September 23rd, which is this Thursday coming up, that's our last day to be 3 to 7, and then we shift to that 3 to 6 time frame. So yeah, a lot of good fall items out there for you.
And I'm hearing the corn is coming in very well too, a little late.
Really?
So if you want to check out the corn, you might want to check out the corn as it continues to go. A couple other events coming up. Town Green wrapping things up. They've got a big event coming up here. What is that?
Yeah, so this Friday, September 24th, it's the last Friday night movie of the season, and the film is Little Women, which is a great film. So hopefully folks can get out for that. And then another upcoming event, Harvest Toberfest, which is Saturday, October 9th, and this one's going to be over at Central Park from noon to 6. It includes local craft and food vendors, food trucks, beer garden, and polka music. So fun day at the park.
Yeah, a lot going on, as you see, in the city of Maple Grove. So that wraps up our update for today. Again, we want to leave it with the city's website. A lot of information there, and also the next meeting date. Let's look at that right now. Next meeting is Monday, October 4th, 7:30 at the Government Center. That website right in the middle of the screen. Again, a lot of information about some of the things that are coming up, and also some of the materials that were in the council meeting that you might want to take a look back at, the information about the hospital and also about the photo contest. Phone number again at the bottom of the screen. For Heidi Nelson, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us on the Maple Grove City Report.